Okay, we're going to create a very basic object now in Second Life, or reaction grid in this case, by going to Edit and choosing the magic wand. And I'm going to choose a pyramid shape. Now it's quite small. Remember, we can move things around using the different colored arrows, and also we can resize them by using the Shift and Control option, which brings up the three, actually all the little gray boxes. If I continue to press it, I can then reshape it, make things slightly larger or smaller. I can sink that into the water, for example. I'm going to bring it up a little bit just to work on it. I want to work on its textures and features next. For texture, I'm going to go into the texture menu, click on the textures in my inventory, and I have lots of different ones that I can apply to it, but I'm going to go for the glass pane. Select. Now I can make this somewhat transparent if I want to, just by clicking on the transparency. I can make it glow if I like. It's kind of neat. I can change the color of my shape. You can flip your shape, etc. as well. And you can also make it a little bit wobbly if you want to by making it softer, changing the gravity on it, drag and wind. Notice that it's now moving with the wind. Tension. Have a play with the numbers and see what you can do with them to make things a little bit more flexible if you so choose. It's not something you have to do, and for some objects it's not a good idea. You also want to be able to name your creation. I'm going to call this the wiggly pyramid. And I'm also going to create another shape. I'm going to add it to it, another object. I don't really want that one. I'm going to remove that one. More, delete. Instead, I'm going to choose, let me see, a ball, a sphere. Okay, again, this can be moved up and around. We can resize it the same way we resize the pyramid. We can change the texture on it by going to Textures and choosing the kind of texture we want for it. The ABC logo, chart, cobbles, etc. There's quite a few that come with it. Some you can upload as well. Well, that was kind of neat. The gravel one looked kind of neat. Looks almost like an asteroid, etc. Right? You choose the one that you like the best. Okay, selected that. Again, you can work with its features. You can make it glow, you can make it transparent, you can make it fully bright if you want to, so it glows in the dark. And you can also reposition it so it is in line, however you want it to be in line, with your other objects. Maybe sitting on the top of the object or whatnot. Now, in order to move around here a bit and see what we've got, if you use the Option button and your mouse, you can actually get around and see that things aren't always where they seem to be. Okay? And relocate them. Notice that you can see that when they're touching, it actually shows you. You see those light blue indicators, right? Okay, so it's now one piece. Well, it's not actually. I'm going to make it into one piece. Now to do that, I need to get back around. I actually want to move this over a tiny bit more. Over here. Okay, and I'm going to select the entire object. Notice they're both outlined. I'm going to use the Control L to link them. All right. Now that they're linked, they should act as one piece. And it's still very, notice how wiggly and wobbly that first piece is, but notice that they also are moving together. It's quite ghostly, actually. If you want to rotate your objects, you just use the Control button again, and you can actually rotate them around in different directions, depending on how you want them to be as well. And that's basic building. I mean, these are the basic building blocks, and you just have to use them to create your different shapes and put them together. Okay, another thing you can do is you can upload your own objects. If you go to File, oops, get into View here. If you go to File and Upload, Image, Sound, Animation, etc. I'm going to upload an image in this case. Search for an image that we have on the desktop. What do we have? This is kind of cute. This is our Salvador month calendar. Let's upload one of those. Choose. It uploads the image. Give it a name. Otherwise, it gets really confusing when things are not named properly. Okay. Give it a description if you so choose, and I'm going to upload. Okay, now that it's been uploaded, I'm actually going to, thank you. It's right here. This is my shape or my image with my description. I'll just put calendar in here and close that. If I right click, actually if I don't right click, if I go down to my inventory here, it should be available right there. You see it? The Salvador calendar. Now, when I'm building, this can be really useful because if I create, let me just create a very basic shape again and move this out of the way. Bring this over a tiny bit. Right, we're going to resize it, and I'm going to flatten it, and I'm going to put the calendar on it. Now, to do that, I'm just going to zoom back out again. Click on the textures, and in my inventory, these are the different things I have, right? Here's my El Salvador calendar. I'm going to select it. I'm going to start playing with the repeats per face. Let me see what's happening. I'm getting more repeats per face of it, or less. Right? Now I also want to play with the horizontal options. As you can see, it's now coming into focus a little bit better. Bring this down a bit. Bring this in a little bit more. Oops, now what's happened is we've got repetitions of it appearing. And you can play with those dimensions to bring everything in to how you want them to be. Again, you might want to stretch this a little bit more because the shape is not exactly right. Oops, and there. I've got my El Salvador calendar right there. And there we have our El Salvador calendar that we can then refer back to, get closer to, read the events on, etc. Cultural events in our country, very exciting. Notice it's on both sides. Anyway, some more tricks to building for you to try out when you're creating your content on ABC El Salvador.